Howdy folks, welcome to another episode of the Rifle Church channel. There goes Dogness. Going for a little walk, get a bit of fresh air. Hope you guys are doing great in your isolation. I know that we have. It's been, 3 months? And it's kind of sucked, hasn't it? Yeah, it's really sucked. But you gotta do what you gotta do, right? Anyhow, just wanted to make a quick video because I don't think things are going to get better. We're making some progress. We got several different kind of lawsuits that are, unfortunately the taxpayers are going to have to pay for because we're suing the federal government of Canada for their overreach, their undemocratic processes, gun bans by order in council, imposing gun bans by regulation rather than the democratic process in the House of Commons. And so that's going on. So we're suing the government, we're taking them to court, we're doing constitutional challenges, and there's several of them coming out now. Recommend you support them all. If you can donate to their legal funds, that'd be great. However, here's the thing. Even if we win those lawsuits, they'll just do it all over again in Parliament. And between the Liberals and the Bloc Québécois and the NDP and the Greens, essentially they're the same party. There's really no difference between any of them. It'll get passed. So one way or the other, even if we win the lawsuits, this is inevitable. They're going to win. That's kind of depressing to say that, but there we have it. So that's kind of the long-term approach. That's the long-term view. We also see the country is being buried in national debt, out of control spending. Minister of Finance doesn't even know how much money they've spent. They're handing out money left, right, and center. Here's the thing. Instead of giving us aid packages, what they should do is just defer our mortgage payments until this COVID-19 crisis is over. We go back to work and we get a sense of normality. The economy starts to come back, but that's not what they're doing. They won't defer the payments to your mortgage. Where are you going to find the money to make those payments? Instead of deferring it, just tack it on to the end of your mortgage or your loan payments. Instead, they're just borrowing more money and sending the banks aid packages. So, and people too, but you can only do that for so long before you're essentially your entire government there's no more money left. You can only borrow for so long. But anyways, what we're doing is we're actually borrowing money and giving it to other countries as aid packages as well. It's just a mess. It's just a total and complete disaster. Economically, I don't think I've ever seen this under such duress as a nation. But getting back to the gun control thing, it's only one aspect of a bigger problem. Now you look at 338, which is basically the website that indicates kind of where the polls are. And because of the Greater Ontario and Quebec population, the Liberals earn a significant lead in the polls, even though they're essentially incrementally destroying our country. We see, for no reason really whatsoever, we see riots in Montreal because that poor chap that got killed by that Minneapolis or Minnesota policeman, George Floyd. We're seeing riots all over the world. Police brutality exists, we all know that, but it doesn't mean that all police are bad. So the outstanding police forces in Western civilization are generally good. However, the more of these riots we see, the more the police are justified in taking harsh actions against the citizenry. These folks that are rioting, they're not in the asset column. The police, the people that are burning down grocery stores and libraries and museums and churches, they're not people that are in the asset category of your country. Let's go this way. The wind is really coming today. And it seems to me that whenever these people go rioting, the government tries to appease them. And if you actually obey the laws, well, the full force of government will be pressed upon you because, well, honestly, it's kind of like being a farmer. It's called animal husbandry. You have a tax base. They provide you with funding. They're kind of like a bank. You can borrow against them. And you got to keep those people in check, because if you don't, they might stop doing things like paying taxes. However, the people that are not in the asset category, well, they seem to be able to get away with murder, literally. When you appease that group of people, you endanger your entire nation and your entire citizenry. Now, it's the people that are the lawful gun owners that need to be paid attention to. And according to the polls, our country agrees. So what we're doing, we've seen this coming a long, long time ago. Wow, look at that. That is fresh. The flies have just started to smell it. No! It's a big bear too. Another one. We're making preparations to expect the worst. We're talking about an economic meltdown. Seems to me it's not just an economic meltdown, but a moral meltdown. I can't believe the Liberals are still in the lead by a substantial margin. Here's the thing, there will come a reckoning when people realize they've been fed a lot of lies. And then, by then it'll be too late. Interest rates will have gone up to the point where they won't be able to make mortgage payments anymore. What would happen if even your mortgage went up 3 or 4%? Well, the last time Trudeau was in power, they were looking at 14-15% interest rates on their mortgages. It's almost as bad as a credit card. The amount of debt that people are carrying right now is absolutely incredible. It's not sustainable. There will be a point where you simply cannot afford to go buy a steak. It's already that bad. I mean, honestly, last time I went to the grocery store to get a nice steak, it was going to cost me about $30. We haven't been eating much in the way of meat lately. That is for sure. So this is a trend that is unlikely to correct. It's going to continue to go down this path. The government appears to have a social license. It's been given to them by their electorate, which is Ontario and Quebec. The remainder of the entire country, with the exception of Atlantic Canada, seems to disagree, but it doesn't matter because there's just not enough votes in those provinces to make a difference. So we're stuck with it. That's just the way our federation is built. So we're gonna be taking down the toilet with everyone else, kicking and screaming though, but that doesn't matter. It's simply going to happen. It's pretty much, I think it's probably pretty reasonable to say is that any economist out there that is looking at this in very simple terms has to be able to agree that we're not economically viable or sustainable. We're not a safe place to invest. We're seeing industry leave left, right, and center. Highly paid, highly technological, global competing jobs are being lost because of ignorant policy, bad financial decisions, and what are you going to do? I got bears. What are you going to do? What are you going to do, and how are you going to do it? Where are you going to go? You know, we've seen European nations follow this exact same formula. Trudeau's Liberals are no different. They're trying to turn Canada into a European state where liberty is fundamentally erased and you become a subject of the government. You're no longer a citizen. That is the path that Canada has chosen. And we also see a large portion of America's population choosing the same route, and it's very sad. It's very sad indeed. I mean, when the President of the United States is looking at actually deploying the military in order to quell an uprising, it's pretty bad. They're destabilizing the country. Olive, come on! They're destabilizing the country. Canada's way ahead along that trajectory, and I don't know what the solution is other than to get yourselves out of debt. Maybe look at getting out of the cities, because when the collapse comes, that's where it's going to start, and it will be very, 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 very terrible. It'll be truly terrible. You think the riots are bad now? You ain't seen nothing yet. Rough Tour signing out. Hope you're all doing well. As always, Maple Leaf up.